in the book, he even talks about when you are starting out, when you don't have millions yet, when you are just, scrappy in your business, this is exactly how I would organize the income I'm getting so that I can keep leveling up and I'm not depriving myself and I'm getting the joys of entrepreneurship even from the get-go.
Do you have a brilliant product idea but don't know where to start to get it made? Or are you looking to level up your product but afraid to take it overseas?
If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erin, and we are
the Sourcing Gals,
your trusted guides to everything you need to know about sourcing, manufacturing, and scaling your product overseas. Whether you are just starting out or you've been making your own product for a while, we're here to help women source products overseas without the overwhelm.
In each episode, we'll share insider tips, actionable strategies, and inspiring stories to help you source more effectively, save time, and boost your profits. Duh! We know how hard it can be to juggle the ins and outs of product development, but don't worry, we've got your back.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how you can grow your business,
make more money,
and turn your products into profit. Welcome to the
Sourcing Gals. Now let's get started. High five.
Hi. Running a product-based business is complicated enough. Your banking shouldn't be. That's why we use Mercury. It's a free, intuitive banking platform built for entrepreneurs. No monthly fees, and get this, no wire fees ever. Plus, it integrates with QuickBooks, making bookkeeping a breeze. And the best part? Their credit card gives you 1.5% cash back with a holiday bonus of 2.5% cash back on ad spend. Terms do apply. Banking doesn't have to be complicated. Join me and thousands of other founders using Mercury. Learn more and sign up today using the link in the show notes.
Hi there. Welcome to another episode of The Sourcing Gals. So I feel like I'm becoming a little bit of you today because you are, people might not know this, a ravenous reader.
I read a lot.
Like a lot of books. My listener friends here.
The winter months, I've been averaging like 2 a week.
Yeah, that's insane. Now tell people how you get through that many books, because you do have like quite a thing that you do.
Yes, I have a process. So I read and listen at the same time a lot, and then on like 1.5 speed. So when it's going in my eyes and my ears at the same time, I feel like I can do it faster and it like melds into my brain quicker. And then I have the audio and I have the book. So, I'll throw the book in my purse if I like am sitting in my car for 5 minutes before I need to grab a child or I'm waiting in line somewhere. And then I also have the audio so that while I'm cooking dinner, while I'm putting the dishes out of the dishwasher, I listen. So I like double take all my books.
I need to train my family about this because whenever I have AirPods in, they don't give an F. They're just talking to me, yapping away. So I haven't trained my family to say if AirPods are in, like I'm unavailable. So I need to maybe work on that. But
nobody wants to be around me while I'm making dinner or cleaning anyway, because I'll put them to work.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm missing.
I say if you're going to be around me while I'm cleaning, I'm going to give you cleaning to do.
Okay.
And they all make themselves scarce.
Okay. So, noted. I'm taking that one home today. But today we really are talking about books and our favorite books. And I'll say that Erin and I do a lot of book swapping between the two of us. Well, oh my gosh, you have to read this. You have to share this. And then there are books that we both just believe so strongly in that we'll both tell each other like, okay, it's time to read, like time to reread this book. And for me, I actually listen. I'm not a big reader. I'm a huge listener though. And so there are some books that I will listen to maybe once a quarter.
Yeah.
On like repeat them because they're just so damn good.
Yes.
And I feel like I know you're a big fan of that too.
I have like probably 3 or 4 books that I re-listen to or reread often. I'm not going to talk about them all today, maybe one of them. But yes.
So I think today we're really here to talk about our favorite books. And these cover they cover the globe a bit. Like most of them are business books, self-improvement, and then some personal as well. So I think
even if they're not really business books, they impact how we view and approach our business.
And I think these books have all been, I know that both of us are going to speak to, have truly changed the trajectory been major aha light bulb moments for us. And we are so the people that are like, oh, wait, have you read this book? Like, I mean, I know I do that probably almost every other day, especially with a lot of our clients. I'm like, no, you have to read this. Like, you understand where they're at in their journey. It's like, oh, wait, okay, this is the book for you. So we just want to share some of our favorites. Some of these might be familiar. Some of them probably won't be. But they all are really meaningful to Erin and myself.
Yes.
And again, they've been books that have been with us throughout the years. And then I'm also going to talk about a book that I'm excited that's next on my read and listen book.
You have one. I think it's the one you're going to start with. You have one on your pile that I have not read.
Oh, this will be a good one. Okay, so do you want to kick it off?
Sure. I'll go first. I'm going to start with this one because it's the one I read first in my business book journey. It is not a new book. It's, maybe from the 90s or early 2000s. Let's see. Oh, 2014.
Okay.
Okay, newer than I thought. But anyway, it is Invent It, Sell It, Bank It. It's by Lori Greiner, who is on Shark Tank.
Yes.
And I read this back when I was starting my first product business. And at that time, I had already worked in retail, but I had not brought my own idea to life. And this book, if we were to reread it now, we'd probably be like, well, duh. But for me, it was such a really interesting and tactical, here's how to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 of bringing an invention, like a singular product to life. And it talks a lot about what we go over in our mini course, actually, which is like market preparedness, talking with folks, getting feedback, testing ideas. And so it doesn't really go through how to find a manufacturer, but like everything up to that point, it's a great book. It's it just kind of opened the door to business books for me. So that's why I have it on my list.
I love that.
Invent It, Sell It, Bank It by Lori Greiner.
I love it. So I'm going to pull up my first book here. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality. So you have not read this.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. And actually, with the business that we are building with Sourcing Gals, I'm going to re-listen to this one. It's by Will Jadara, and I might be butchering his last name. He is the co-owner of 11 Madison Park. So premier, the #1 Michelin star restaurant, like premier restaurant in basically the US.
I've eaten there 3 times.
What?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Only once when it was vegan.
Oh my God, that is really okay. Well, then you're really going to enjoy this book even more because you've been there and experienced it.
Maybe I'll put this up. I have a picture of me in the kitchen, getting a kitchen tour.
Erin, that is, you're just full of cool shit that I don't know about you. And I love that I learn these things all the time. So this is really about his journey and belief in how bringing unreasonable hospitality to any business can just change the trajectory. And it goes down to how he did it literally within 11 Madison Park. So within the restaurant, and it's leadership, and it's how you are finding your talent, how you're coaching and training your talent, how you groom that talent to eventually take over the roles.
My interest is piqued.
I mean, it is amazing, and it's fun because it's real. Like, it's based on his real true story, but there's so many nuggets in it, and the way in which he wants you to experience. And I mean, you could talk firsthand, I guess, like with how over the top the hospitality is supposed to be. And he goes through a lot of examples of it. I won't give too many hints away, but some really, really amazing examples that make me think, as a business owner and as a product-based owner, how I want my customer to feel every time they get my product, or as we're working with clients, how do we want them to feel every time they hang up the phone with us or every time they get off a Zoom call with us? So I think it's a really great book. It doesn't have to be if you're building a service-based business, although that's kind of what, he's in the service-based business of restaurant, but there are so many amazing nuggets and takedowns from this book. And it's just a really fun read. Like, it's kind of one that you want to keep going because it's just really well written.
Ooh, I'm really excited.
Yeah. So that's
put it on my pile.
I will. Unreasonable Hospitality. There you go. That's hard copy for you, Audible for me.
Okay. I'm going to kind of change directions quickly for a little bit of a woo-woo one. Not woo-woo, actually, but this is also a kind of oldish book. And I haven't read it in a while. I need to read it again. This is one that if you listen to, it might take like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
It's not that bad. So like think of it as
I've not read this one.
as a long podcast. It's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. I'd say it's like fairly famous in certain circles for getting out of your own head when it comes to putting out in the world what you're meant to bring. It talks a lot about if you're here to paint, then paint. If you're here to speak, then speak. Like by not doing what you're meant to do, you're robbing the world of that.
So true.
It's kind of like a cult classic, The War of Art. Quick listen. It's one of those ones that I will keep like on a table or in the bathroom maybe or in the car, and you can just kind of pick up and give yourself a little tidbit of, I wouldn't say like comfort. It's kind of like a kick in the ass. It's like a nice kick in the ass. It's tough love.
Yeah. Okay, we'll add that to my list then.
The War of Art.
War of Art. Okay. Next, I have a favorite of the sourcing gals, and I was actually trying to remember who gave this to whom first.
Yeah, like why?
So I heard it on a podcast. I'm trying to remember whose podcast it was, if it was Lori Harder but it is called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And when I tell you that this is one that Erin and I both listen to on repeat. And I'm due for a download on this one and a re-listen because it's by T. Harv Eker, and he has, a wealth business that he has started and kind of trains you. It's money mindset. It's money mindset. It's the example of, we talk about this sometimes, like go test drive that luxury car you want because you're at least you're putting your energy out there, right? I mean, he says, if you're dreaming of that mansion, go to the open house, like go stay one night, splurge for one night and stay at that super bougie hotel to know how it feels to be in that circle and that energy. And so, yes, a lot of this I'm talking about is like materialistic things, but it's also how money can do good. Money can give back. Money can, is power. I made a post about this actually the other day. Just that I really believe that this world right now is very broken. Mm-hmm. And the more we can have people making more money and using that power for good, and more women-based businesses in particular, I believe, where they have so many morals and deeper values at the core than just making money to make money. But it's also okay to like nice things too.
Sure.
So it covers like the whole breadth of that.
What I really love about this book too is he gives some pretty tactical. I always like tactical. I like action.
Yep. Agreed.
Tell me what to do. Give me a list. I think I tell our marketing manager that like every week. I'm like, just boss me. Tell me what to do. But anyway, in the book, he even talks about when you are starting out, when you don't have millions yet, when you are just, scrappy in your business. This is exactly how I would organize the income I'm getting so that I can keep leveling up, and I'm not depriving myself, and I'm getting the joys of entrepreneurship even from the get-go. And that was really strong for me because when people are like, go do that thing, go splurge, go do it so that you can like feel the feeling of being in that elite mindset. It's like, great. Well, I don't have a job right now. What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And he goes through all that.
Yeah. He also talks about how some of this money should be reinvested in yourself. Yes. Like there should be a % of your income in furthering your education. So I just think he touches on so many different points across the money journey and mindset. And again, it's it's small. It's not a lot of pages. To your point, I think it's a 2-hour Audible, maybe on 1.5, especially, it's like less than 200 pages. So highly recommend if you are someone who is any entrepreneurial mindset, launching a business, or you just want to think bigger and have a different mindset around money, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. There's something you will take from it. I promise you. Mm-hmm. Promise.
If you're building a product-based business and finding yourself second-guessing decisions or wishing you had someone to gut check, we want you to know you don't have to do this alone.
On January 1st, we're opening the Sourcing Gals Founders Circle, our private community for product-based founders.
Inside, you'll get monthly Q&A calls with us, access to our templates, scripts, and tools, and most importantly, a community of founders building right alongside you.
It's only $27 a month, or for a limited time, $247 for the year. That's 3 months free. You can find all the details in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Okay, next up, what do you got?
All right. I am going to go to I don't know. That one's a little bit too. We'll just stick on the money mindset
Okay.
thing.
Oh,
You Are
yeah.
a Badass at Making Money.
Oh, so
By
good.
Jen Sincero. This book, it was one of those books where I thought, this is silly. I don't know who reads these things. This seems kind of ridiculous. And I was, again, listening to a podcast, and the speaker was talking about how this book like really changed her life. And I thought, well, that's bold, but I'll give it a try. And I think I told probably 15 to 20 people about it in the first week. It really is like, the title's funny, but it hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And I think because, firstly, she's fun.
Yes. It's a good listen.
It's fun to listen to. Secondly, because she hits on a few things that are my own personal like crutches, which are if I don't think that I'm good at a particular thing in my business, then I'm just not going to do that thing. And for me, it's sales. I'm uncomfortable selling. I would rather be like in ops in the background. I'm making things happen. And she has a part of the book, and this is just like such a small part. It might be like a paragraph where she talks about like, if you are an entrepreneur and you have something to sell, you have to get your ass out there and sell it. You have to be comfortable with that. Whether it's your own talents, whether it's a product, whether it's your podcast, whether it's anything, you have to talk about it. You have to sell. You have to make yourself comfortable with it. And she talks a lot about supporting yourself with coaching and with, other mindset. But all in all, really transformative for me. I loved it. I gave it to so many people, and it's a great listen. It's funny.
You gave it to me, and I also have since passed it to, I think, at least 3 or 4 people that I know too, because it was that good.
Yeah.
So really, really good. Again, fun, easy listen if you're someone that likes to, download. That's one that I'll probably also, to be honest, be like in every other. Like Millionaire Mindset, re-listen, You're a Badass Making Money Mindset, and kind of go back and forth with them, because I think they both bring different like similarities, but also like different perspectives.
Sure. And the other thing, and I don't know if you like this or not, but this book also has exercises after every chapter. And I got on like Etsy. I'll put the link in our show notes. I got on Etsy and downloaded for $6 a workbook that accompanies the book. So, and I just printed it out on my home printer, and you can kind of do the exercises in pen and paper while you're listening. And that was really great for me too, because the first time I listened to it, I just went straight through.
Yeah.
And then the second time, I stopped at each chapter and did the exercises.
That's great. I did not do the exercises. Of course, I'm like thinking them in my head as she's prompting you, but I remember you mentioned that. So I think that's really good. A good thing that I can do this next go around with listening to it again.
Awesome. Highly recommended.
Okay. My next one. Some of you may not have heard this. It is actually written by a local Columbus writer. It's called Heart Boss by Reagan Walsh. And I'm just going to read the header underneath it. Trust your gut, shed your shoulds, and create a life you love. So I was originally told about this book through Instagram because, again, Reagan is a Columbus-based entrepreneur and speaker and coach. A friend had posted, like, so proud of you, Reagan, for this book. And I was like, oh, Reagan, Columbus, like, cool. I should read this. It sounds good. And the person wrote a wonderful review on it. So I grabbed it, I read it, and like, I kid you not, I can go back and find it. I remember exactly where I was. I was on vacation in Malibu with my husband, and I read this book, and I took a picture of it, and I posted on Instagram, and I said, Reagan, one day we will be friends. Like, this book was amazing. I can't wait to work with you. Like, I need to go find that post, and I'll throw it maybe on social media, because at the time I didn't know Reagan, but I felt so drawn to this book. I felt so parallel with her. She was a corporate woman balancing, relationship and family and all the things, again, you think you should do, and really coming to terms with what you actually want to do. And it's like, kind of, if it's not a hell yes, and it's an F no type of mentality. And one of the stories she talks about that I still go back to is, when you think about your kids' school parties, And like, what are you going to sign up for? You're going to be the mom that signs up for things. And are you going to be the one that does the cupcakes and the Pinterest cupcakes and the craft? Now, to be fair, Erin and I, like, that brings us joy probably more than most people.
I am signed up for the Valentine's Day craft.
Yeah, which I do too. But again, that brings us joy. But for most people, if that's not a joy giving thing, but you sign up for it because you think you should, you want to be the super mom, where she's like, just buy the damn cups. Like, it's okay to be the mom that buys the solo cups, you know? And a lot of times I am that mom now. I will say, tell me who to Venmo, and I'm sending my money, you know, where I used to feel like I had to be the one leading it. I had to be the one organizing. It's like, no, that doesn't fit in my life right now, you know? So it's okay. And I have no guilt about sending the Venmo and letting some other mom take care of that in the meantime.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just a great book. If you don't have to be a mother, but I do think if you are, you know, if you are a mother, it's going to hit even more deeply. And it could be someone, if you just manage a home yourself, if you manage a business, if you are in corporate. I know my friend Katie that I gave this to, she says she actually gives it to every single one of the women when they join her team.
Aw.
Like, she just was that struck by it. And so the fun full circle moment, though, is that a couple years later, I was at a point in my life with a lot of crossroads, and Reagan moved from corporate to now being a coach and here in Columbus. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to her. Like, I had that post still in my head. I reach out to her. She's like, hey, let's hop on a call and just have a conversation. So we had like a 30-minute, it felt like, you know, the best speed dating interview ever. It wasn't an interview. We just totally clicked. And literally that conversation, reading this book, putting that out in the universe that one day we're going to be friends, then picking up the phone, making that call to her, it turned into me joining a cohort that she was launching in Columbus, like a women's leadership circle. And I kid you not, that investment in myself with joining this changed the entire trajectory of where I'm sitting right now. Like, hands up, the people I met,
Wow.
the energy shift, the mindset shift. And so I told Erin earlier, I want to have a whole separate podcast about that, because I do think investing in ourselves, in our education, in our networking, all those things is truly game changing. So that could be its whole other episode. But I really owe so much to Reagan Walsh. And so I highly recommend Heart Boss, Shedding Your Shoulds. She does keynote speaking all across the country. And I can say that Reagan is now like a friend. And it's really cool to think about, because I remember reading this thinking one day, and now I can genuinely say we have a friendship.
So I noticed you have a book there in your hands. Is that because you gave me yours and I never gave it back? I still have it.
No, I have quite a few. Actually, this is not my signed one, Reagan. I have like 4 of these books.
Maybe I have a couple signed one.
Maybe. Okay, I have another one. I actually have 2 at my house, and I grabbed this one that isn't my signed one. But I always try to keep an extra, because I do love to gift it. It's just such a great book.
If I do have your signed one, we can switch. But I need to read it. I was looking for it on audio, and she doesn't have it on audio. So I've been struggling to get through it, but I need to.
I should talk to her about that. I didn't realize that. I like read her book when I was on vacation. I didn't listen to it.
And I can read a book too. It's
I know,
fine.
but that's a missed opportunity for a lot of us that are just more audible people. So, and she should get on there and read it herself, because she's a wonderful speaker.
I love when the author reads the book.
Yeah. So shout out to Reagan. Love you, girl.
All right. I'm going to go to Buy Back Your Time.
Buy
Back Your Time by Dan Martell. This is one that I think we've talked about on previous podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I recommended it to people. It was a good listen. Again, it's read by the author, but I bought it as well because there's just a lot of things that you want to go back and reference. Like, he talks about, there's spreadsheets, there's tables, if spreadsheets and tables in a book scare you, just don't let it. This talks a lot about how if you are working in any capacity, there are tasks that you're doing every day that are taking away from your zone of genius. Like, what you are best at, what you bring to the table, and those talents should be the thing you focus on. If you are wasting time on something that is not your best at, it should be outsourced. And he talks about the math.
Yeah, I think that's what's really, really cool
out.
Is that like he maths it out for you.
Right. Like, if you are starting out and you are making X amount, here's the math to show you who you can hire to help with what.
Like, what you can afford to hire, basically.
Absolutely. And as someone who always thought, I can't afford an employee, I can't afford an employee, I can't afford an employee, I sat down, I did the math, and I thought, actually, I can. And that was when we started getting linked up with Samantha Gold,
Mm-hmm.
who we interviewed maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of offshore staffing. Staffing's the wrong word.
Yeah.
But,
Offshore it's building a team utilizing offshore talent.
so I was like, okay, this is something that I can afford. And I started working slowly with someone and testing the waters there. And now this person, after 4 months, is full time. She's like my right hand when it comes to design. She's a designer. And I couldn't do what I do day in, day out without her on my team. And it's really because of this book.
Well, and that's a perfect segue to my next one, which is
yeah.
Who Not How.
And
We
that
did
is
not plan this
perfect.
order. So Who Not How, again, similar but different, was written by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, but the theories and concepts behind the book are from the infamous Dan Sullivan. So Dan Sullivan is a very successful entrepreneur. He has created a program called Strategic Coach that I actually did join and participate last year, which is, again, a whole nother podcast episode. But what Dan Sullivan was introduced to me through Reagan Walsh, my coach, because I was struggling with all the work coming in and my different businesses I was managing at the time and not understanding, like, again, the runway to go higher. And she's like, you need to read Who Not How. And I was like, okay. And to your point, what I thought was so great about this book is it not only tells you, same thing, your zone of genius, this is where you should be focusing, but by you doing tasks that are not worthy of your zone of genius, you're actually robbing somebody else from their zone of genius work.
Yes, I remember that part. And I remember that clicking with me because I always do feel like when I put work on other people, it's a burden on them. Like I'm like, oh, could you please do this for me? I know that it sucks, blah, blah, blah. But if that's their zone of genius, it does not suck.
No,
They love it.
They love it. I mean, I think about my relationship with my marketing manager, Bailey. You know, she is a master executor. Like, she loves having a list, kind of similar to you. Like, give me a list, let me go through, let me highlight. I feel so accomplished, you know, where that doesn't do it for me. Like, getting in the details and the weeds and the execution, like, that's not where I thrive. Like, I want to cast the vision. I want to lay all the ideas out and then pass it off to her. And, you know, she says, like, we're the perfect yin and yang because that is what lights her up. So what would typically drain my battery, take me to a not great place, is someone else's joy. So I also love that about the book. It's not just about making you feel bad about pushing off this work. It's like, no, you're finding someone who actually enjoys that work and you're giving life to them by letting it go, by passing it off. So Dan Sullivan, and in true Dan Sullivan, Who Not How fashion, he's like, I'm not a writer. Why would I write my own book? So he hired Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and he's like, I'm going to teach Ben the theories, the concepts. But Ben is a writer. He's an amazing writer. So Ben actually writes all of Dan Sullivan's books. And so it's a perfect case, like, example of Who Not How and finding those people in your circle. And I agree with you. I think in the beginning, as a startup founder, you don't have the funds, you don't have the money. But when I tell you that you can find offshore help for the same price as a Starbucks, and they're good, they're great, actually. It just really changes the game. And so
Totally.
I think we all have this idea of how much it's going to cost. And if you want help setting it up, you know, that's where Samantha Gold comes in and she'll do it for you. But if you are just starting at the base, like, you can do it yourself and you can do it for you can make budget changes in your life right now, simple changes to afford you offshore help.
We can also put the site we use for our offshore help in the show notes.
I think that's great. I would love to pass that along.
That's how we find a lot of our folks. And again, it's like hiring for any position. It does, like, take a little bit of trying to find the right person. But once you land that right person, they can just be instrumental in your business.
Yeah. I mean, that is my most favorite bill to pay every week, because every time I pay it, I'm like, thanking the universe for what abundance this person is bringing in my life for such an affordable rate. But for them, it's life-changing money, you know, and I just gave a raise to my offshore. And how good did that feel? Like, I mean, they didn't ask for it, but they have just brought so much to my business and made my life so much easier that, like, I want to give back.
Yeah. I just gave a $2 raise to my designer.
That is big.
And I just was like, you know, every week when I pay her paycheck, I'm always like, worth it. Like,
Yes.
and I was like, if I'm feeling that way, then like I need to give her more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
And you guys might be thinking $2, like in the grand scheme, that was probably a 25% raise, 20% raise.
it was.
I mean,
it was.
so that's when we're talking about how affordable finding good help can be. Like, it's there. So we'll drop that in the show notes. You can use chat to leverage, like, how I'm looking to hire offshore. What are some of the rates? What are like a job description? But it's a really very simple platform.
Totally.
Very simple platform. So highly recommend. Okay. So that's Who Not How, Dan
All
Sullivan. And he also, by the way, has a suite of books. Dan Sullivan. He has The Gap and the Gain. If you're looking for mindset shift, he has 10x is easier than 2x.
Oh, that was the one. I was thinking, what other Dan Sullivan book was it that
it's
I loved?
again, that could be like, it's a whole other podcast in and of itself. We could totally do a Dan
10X.
Sullivan deep dive because, I took his course. I flew to Chicago 4 times last year to get trained by his team, and it was life-changing. I'm not doing it this year because we have a lot of travel coming up for Sourcing Gals and for Piper and Mint, but I do plan the following year. I'm really hoping to get back into that community because it is life-changing. So
yes,
Dan
10X
Sullivan
is easier than 2X is another Dan Sullivan that we both love. We should have brought that one here. Well, we'll talk about it now. I really recommended that one, and I really like it because it talks about processes, creating processes that work at a scale, and about dreaming bigger, and about just like big. Be big. Don't be small.
Yep.
Okay. My last one is one that, again, Jackie and I both read, Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson. We're going woo-woo.
Yeah. Get it.
It's about synchronicities. It's about really just things that happen in life that tell you you're on the right path. I truly believe that we have a team of spirit guides and angels who look after us and who show us like the path that we're meant to take. And I think both of us, when we were starting this business, it was a leap, a leap to leave corporate jobs, a leap to bet on ourselves, a leap to do something, this podcast that we
Had nobody to listen to it. We're like, but we're just going to do it anyways.
well, not only no one to listen to, but like we're not public faces.
Yeah.
We're here to teach a niche that like our heart is in, which is in, retail development and manufacturing. But we're like, let's do it. We need to get the word out there. And I think all along that path, we were seeing so many signs and synchronicities that kept just saying, you're on the right path. You're on the right path. Keep going. Keep going. And we would both, you especially with the 1111s and the ones, you just text each other like, we're going. We're still doing it. The universe is still telling us to go. What I like about this book, though, is it's really a collection of stories of signs and synchronicities that happen to people. And so it's a fun read. And if you really, really like it, I would go back and read her first book, which is called The Light Between Us, which talks a little bit more about the spirit guides and like our connection to like a greater source. But Signs is all about signs and just teaching you how to recognize them, how they appear in your daily life. And once you're tuned into that, you'll start seeing it everywhere.
And I heard on a podcast, this was years ago, but I remember driving into work and it was someone saying, if you hear something 3 times, like by that 3rd time, like if you're not listening, like, tune in basically. And those synchronicities can come truly in sign. This book is truly about seeing physical signs, but sometimes I think signs can come in the way of a conversation. It could literally be as loose as a commercial talking about something, and then next thing you know, you have a conversation with somebody else about this similar thing, and then all of a sudden you see an ad. Like literally, it's just being open to that information. And again, I'm a big believer now, like if I'm seeing something more than once, twice is like, okay, twice could be interesting, 3 times, but coming in different mediums, I'm like, yep, okay. Like, I'm hearing you.
I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about a sign that happens in my life that was so random. I didn't ask for it, but it was just like, something's amiss. So I was driving one of my kids to school and I saw like this blue antique Bronco, like a vintage Bronco. And the blue was like a cornflower blue. It was not that normal, like kind of vintagey light blue. It It was a custom color. And I saw it and I was like, cool car. And I kept going. And this was on the same road, like less than a mile down the road. I saw another one. It was not the same guy because the first one he had his like top down. He was like open and it was a guy with a baseball cap. The second one wasn't. And I was like, that's odd. So weird. And then I kept going. And then I stopped at a gas station and up next to me pulls another one. And I was like, this is bizarre. This is bizarre. And I was like, okay, I'm just meant to like, someone's trying to tell me something. I'm meant to like keep an eye out. So then like a couple days later, another blue Bronco pulls up next to me at a stoplight. And I was like, okay, I get it. But it's a blue Bronco. It's like not that unique. I like brushed it off. I was like, it's not like it's a yellow one or anything. And then a yellow car pulled up next to me, the next car. And I was like, well, for goodness sakes, somebody's trying to tell me something. So I don't know what that thing is. Maybe it's just keep going, stop doubting yourself, put one foot in front of the other. Maybe it's something else, but I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open.
Yeah, I love it. And you also have a thing with 4-leaf clovers.
Oh my goodness. Maybe it's not the time to tell that story. Have I ever told that story on this podcast?
I don't know.
Okay, I am going to tell it really fast because that is a lot about starting up the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is that I might have still been in my corporate job when this happened. I think I was. But I would go on walks every morning at this one park. And right now we still have like a foot of snow on the ground, so I can't. But I'd walk every morning at the same park. And every morning I listened to walking meditations or podcasts or something. And this particular morning, I was thinking about what my next step was going to be. And I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't sure, do I want to take a more creative design kind of role somewhere, creative director? Do I want to go into manufacturing a little more headlong, something in a public space? I was just like really toying around with what I wanted. What do I truly want? What do I want the next thing to be? And then I had all of a sudden like kind of all of these ideas. And it was about being really like a manufacturing agent, kind of being in between the manufacturer and the people starting the companies and aiding that step for people. And I got a couple people instantly in my mind, like who I knew that I could help. And I leaned down on my phone to put some notes into my phone. I'm just like, all these thoughts are coming to me. They're flooding my mind. I'm going to put them in my notes app. And I saw a 4-leaf clover in front of me. And 4-leaf clovers are my thing. I see them everywhere. When I saw a 4-leaf clover in front of me, and then I saw another one, and then I saw another one, and I saw 10. I picked all of them.
It's crazy because
10 4-leaf clovers.
I look all the time. So it's not my sign because I do not find them.
And I picked all of them. I put them in my pocket. I brought them home. I have them in a book downstairs. But I was like, okay, I was onto something. I was taking notes. I looked down. I see 10 4-leaf clovers. It's the universe being like, you're this. Yes, this is it. Go, do it.
Go.
And I went. I did. Here we are.
And here we are. That's so fun. I love it. There are signs everywhere, people. Everywhere.
Signs. Laura Lynn Jackson.
Get it. Read it. It's a good one. Okay, last, I'm going to finish up with one that is next on my list. And this is definitely not the woo. This is not the mindset. This is about structure. This is about how to set your scaling entrepreneurial business up for success. And actually, interestingly enough, Dan Sullivan has a quote on the front of this book. It's written by Gino Wickman. It's called Traction. Get a grip on your business is what it's called. And Dan Sullivan says, this book is a must for any business owner and their management team. Traction provides a powerful, practical, and simple system for running your business. So some of you guys might have heard this before. It's called EOS. It's the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And Traction is that. Like, this is their book version of EOS. So a lot of the people that I've met actually in my strategic coach program that I talked about, Dan Sullivan's program, they're also members of EOS. And what it is, it's a way to structure an entrepreneurial based business. And it literally, talk about tactical, like you will love this, Erin, like it really breaks out the reporting structure, how each thing filters so that you at the end of the day can be the visionary or can do the job that you love best within your business, but not be completely consumed by it. And I will say, I'm kind of going back to Dan Sullivan. What I love about Dan Sullivan, he is not about hustle culture It is the exact opposite. It is about freedom-based businesses, and also not like just building a course and set it forget it type of freedom. I mean like truly building huge generational wealth businesses, but that do not require you to be there for 40 hours a week. And so traction is kind of the basis, like the behind.
Look, I'm seeing charts.
Yep. Charts.
Man, I'm excited.
Yes. And what you can do with, if you have a business of a certain size, EOS will actually come in and be your implementer. So it's a lot of times for businesses, like family-owned businesses that have scaled to a point. Like I really wanted this in my old business that I was in. I wasn't going to win that battle, but it's like you've scaled the business, or maybe the business has been around for a while and growing, and now you're at these like points, inflection points of, wow, we could do more, but like operationally, we're not set up for success. You can actually hire an implementer who is EOS trained to come in and basically restructure your entire team and business.
I'm really excited to read this one because we are obviously 2 people.
Yep.
And we've grown quite a lot.
Yep.
In the year we've started, and things have gone just kind of like rocket ship. And I'm excited to put some structure around what we got going.
Definitely. So yes, traction. There's a series of it, but I think this one might be the first one. And this was recommended to me by somebody, a fellow entrepreneur I was just talking about, the pain points of growth and how it can be great, but that the lack of structure is really hurting us. And so this was what they recommended. And now, again, coming out of Dan Sullivan's workshops and understanding more about EOS, I think this is a must have this is probably more when you are, again, ready to start building a team, right? If you're as a solo entrepreneur, I still think there's value in learning what comes next, but really this is about when you're ready to start scaling and you want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success, to not have your business rely on you, but let your business work for you. Like this is kind of the basis for that. So I'm excited to read this, get into it, and we'll make sure that I pass this along to you as well, Erin. You can take the hard copy.
This is awesome. So I hope you all enjoyed this, got something out of it. I'm sure your to be read pile is about as high as this pile sitting beside us. And, if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments for the podcast, either on Spotify or YouTube. We're happy to answer those. And all the links we talked about earlier, we'll put in the show notes. We'll also put links to all of these books in the show notes.
Correct. And if you're not part of our email list, be sure you subscribe, because we'll also send links out to all of these. And we want to know what books you're reading, right? Like you can tell Erin and I are book junkies. So if you're on our social, we're going to throw posts up there in regards to like, what are your favorite books? If you're on our email list, we're going to be having you reply to our email that we'll send out with all these links and say like, tell us what else do we need to be reading? And all of these learnings that we have taken from these books, they weave their way into the podcast and our business in so many ways.
All of these. And we probably have 10 others that we could talk about, but these were just really the top ones that kind of weave, like Jackie said, weave their way into our conversations with clients and the podcast so regularly that we need to give them the spotlight.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. I hope you've added some more books to your Audible list or your library list, or if you like to go and buy and keep, which is kind of my thing. Hopefully you have some exciting homework ahead.
All right. Well, until next time on
The Sourcing Gals.